are competing in, we are repeating in, we are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.
So, hello and welcome to the outro of Best for the World broadcast. Together with me here, I have a lot of co-creators in this 48 hours never-ending show. We are 6 people here. We have Monica Fallesen. Good to see you. We have Veronica Sayanox.
Hello.
Hello. We have Anna Ingvald.
Hi.
We have Michael Siljan, also known as Captain Future.
Hello.
And we have Magnus Felt.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. And we have me, Stella Nordahl. And together we have been broadcasting a lot of events during this Best for the World broadcast. And Monica, Veronica, Michael and I, we were actually in the program group. Maybe we should start with us. Mm-hmm. A little bit about the theme, Monica. Couldn't you give us a little bit about choosing wisely? What is your take on this after this weekend?
This was the theme of this year's broadcasting pod event, and I think we've been talking about that in a lot of different ways. Choose wisely, what is wisdom, have we been talking about, and the future city, how would we choose wisely to go into the future cities? That was exciting, I think. And we have authors here that were talking about how they did choose to write their books and choose in life, and a lot of things, really. A good theme and a lot of perspective on this weekend, I think.
Veronica, you have been in another physical room. Right now we have a studio here in Lomma, outside Lund, in southern part of Sweden. We have had a lot of broadcasts here, but you hosted a show by yourself digitally, and you've been in another physical place. Tell us a little bit about how you have been thinking about choosing wisely and this weekend.
Well, about my show was about consultancy, because that is the choice I want to make, and I wanted to get me and my former classmate inspired to take that step towards that wise choice to create a consultancy firm. Or our own business, to work with it. And this weekend it's the first time I'm listening to the Best for the World broadcast, so it's been very inspiring, very many interesting conversations, and it's listening to it has shifted my mind and how I think. And like, they're not only two perspectives or two sides of the coin, it's just round, it's just endless, depending on how many people there are. That's how many views there is, and views on choices and views of wisdom, as you were discussing in another pod. So I'm very thankful to be a part of this year's broadcast.
And Michael Siljan, you're moving around. If you could stand still for a while, we don't get seasick here. Okay, so this is for both Monica and Veronica, it was the first time in Best for the World broadcast, but this is the 5th time for you. Give us your thoughts on it and the theme, choosing wisely.
Yeah, it has been amazing to be part of this yet again. So many fabulous, fantastic people showing up online and in Stellan's home, both on screen and off screen. And the energy is what we want for the world. And the search is there. So choosing wisely, wisdom is something we have to search for. Some people stumble upon it by accident. Some people never find it because they're not looking. But we have to go looking, and we're never done. It's a lifelong journey, and choosing wisdom means you have to choose the places where it's likely to find it. You have to choose random places where it's unlikely to find it, but you will find it anyway. And sometimes you will choose places where you don't find it. You only find trauma and suffering, but you can perhaps learn how to make less trauma and suffering in the world from that. That's my take on it.
Okay, so all 6 of us, we have hosted our own shows. Veronica, you told us a little bit about consultancy in the new paradigm. Monica, you have hosted at least 2 shows, I guess. And Captain Future, you have your Captain Future show. But we also have, and I've hosted Radio Intentional Decisions, but we have 2 new concepts here. We have teams aligned, and we have Yoga Flow. Shall we just dig into a little bit about having and hosting a concept? Who would like to start? How was it to engage in having and holding a space?
It was not new for me to have a space of my own because I have yoga classes regular, but it was new to have one in front of me because it was streaming. But I liked it, and I did it in English, which I normally don't do. So I'm quite proud of myself that I actually did it, and I liked it. How about you, Magnus?
Yes, I got inspired to start my podcast. Jonas, who was my sidekick, he told me that he serendipitously got to create his first episode of his podcast. He didn't know that he would do it when he woke up or even when he walked in the door, but a podcast was born and he inspired me. So I also started my podcast, and I think it's good to have a framework, like, okay, I'm going to do something, but what will it be? From that, I could. I love listening to podcasts, so I said, okay, let's do something from the heart, and I think it came out nice. It's good. It's. I think the free flow of energy still needs to be some packaged for the world to be able to receive it and understand it. So I like that way it flows out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I it's also the 5th time here for me, just as for Michael, and what I've got to learn is that there are different reasons to host the show. One is, of course, if you have a message, it must out to plenty of people. But another one is to formulate yourself and in a dialogue together with others, explore, and also come together as people and change makers. And I believe this is a value that is, for me, maybe the biggest value. So what is the biggest value for you during this weekend? If anyone who would like to start, what is the biggest value that you have experienced, or we can call it value, but it could also be an insight, value/insight. Who would like to start? The biggest value/insight during the weekend?
I can start. I think it's like you said, Michael. It's all about the conversations with all the people. Just been talking to a lot of persons, and the different perspective, like you said, Veronica. For me, the most exciting thing was the glass bed games. I thought that was really amazing. Talking about choosing wisely with a lot of people and think I know things, and after another round I don't know things, and then we start all over again, and that was really exciting for me, really.
So
And I will do that again, Michael.
Yeah, so Glass Bead Game was a concept Michael hosted, more or less. What can you call it? A way of working.
Mind game.
It's a conversation exercise that puts people in the fourth level of listening, of generative dialogue, and you do some sense making, you do some meaning making as a bonus, and some social training, even listening and talking.
Yeah,
So that's it.
that's a wonderful pitch.
And I can say
Beautiful.
something there, because Monica, a challenge is for you to do like Michael did with Pecha Kucha. When you train yourself in Glass Bead Games a little bit, then you can take 20 unknown images and stand in front of a crowd and just let your imagination generate ideas, and you speak to the audience. Yeah, I think that's a great capacity, and I think Glass Bead Games is helping us to become such good communicators, grasping the moment. And
Thank you, Monica. Who wants to go next? The biggest insight / value?
I really liked to listen to this woman. Right, Monica?
Eleanor, yeah,
Palander.
she's a
Eleanor
yeah.
Palander, who wrote this book. I was, I don't know what, I was captured by her. She was, I liked her voice, I liked what she said, and I like the way how she writes her books, and I'm really looking forward to read this one. So that was the most fantastic thing during this weekend. But I have to say, it's not all about this broadcasting. It's about the people who has been in this house, who has come, and we have said hello, and we have said goodbye, and there has been a lot of coffees and water and conversations. Weekend full of love, I must say.
Thank you very much, Anna. Who wants to go next? The biggest insight / value?
I'm amazed that we're here in little Lomma and broadcasting to the world, and we are speaking in English as if we don't do anything else normally. I find it wonderful, and I hope many people are doing that around the world. And
Totally normal.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
It has been a normal weekend, haven't
Yeah,
it?
normal weekend. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Magnus. Who wants to go next?
For me, it's been opened my eyes to how many amazing people there are that talk about these different subjects under the same roof, like the best of the world, best for the world roof. So normally I have not been in situations where I have surrounded myself with these types of people. So it's given me a lot of value that I find this group of people. I can't find the word that I'm looking for. But it's been incredible to listen to.
Thank you very much, Veronica.
And what about you, Stellan?
I was actually
Magnus.
trying out in the beginning here to say that this all the various levels of value, but just so that people know how easy it can be, or how I wouldn't say easy, but how we can set up such a way of
How we have created a
how
studio.
we have created a studio. Okay, so I'm going to share now my own camera here, so we can easily just put in another camera. It's an iOS system. Here we have the other studio called the Podcast Studio, and so I'm moving around a little bit here. So here is the studio we're broadcasting from right now. So this is how it works. We have small mics. You got one there, and that is how it approximately works. And if I turn around, there is a little bit of equipment, but it's not that much. There is some computers, but there is also prepared for a musician's session here. But this year we didn't really get some musicians there. Last year there were. So we always
year there
prepare.
will.
Yeah, we always prepare for various setups. We have had setups in those studio environments, but we also have had it in Zoom. We have had it in the yoga studio, and some I think it was last year we had it in a tree house and so on. So it's quite easy to set up such a broadcast or a live stream. You don't need this much. You can actually go down to maybe a third of it. So maybe 2 or 3 old iPhones as cameras and a little bit equipment, and then the rest of the world can join. That's amazing, I think. So I think that's the biggest value I see, that some of you mentioned it also, that we can have these types of conversation and at the same time engage people from all around the world. And Michael, you had a guest earlier today from somewhere else in the world. I don't know where it was. I couldn't really tapped into it. I don't know if you're there and can help us out.
I'm just arrived at my home in my house and garden here. So, yeah,
you're back.
I had Jen Sendal from Wales. She was one of the people who brought the Glasgow Games to Kiev Emerge Gathering 2019, where I met her. So that was before it went digital, just a prototype back then. But and we talked a lot about what Glasgow Games is and can be in our conversation, and also a little bit on wisdom and stuff like that. Really warm. And playfulness and things like that.
And we invite, of course, people to join for Best for the World broadcast next year. But in the meantime, I mean, it's a whole year until then. Monica, you saw something, and you and Christina realized that what we have here is like a platform for many various podcasts or videocast pods or whatever you call it.
Yeah, absolutely. And me and Niklas Mandin, we are going to continue doing our podcast. It was the first episode this on Saturday at 1:00, and it's amazing that we can have this podcast called Dela Med Day on this platform, and open up to do this. It's nice to hear that you, Magnus, and Jonas is also going to do a podcast. It's really amazing, and it's fun that people interact with you and write comments about it and so on. And we had people who want to join the show, but also people that want to select topics for the show, and that's amazing, I think.
So I have a question as of how people interact from the world. Have you had comments on the videos, or?
Yes, there have been some comments on the videos, and it all depends on I mean, the people who or the persons that are broadcasting that specific concept, how have they shared it in their network.
Okay.
So what we do here is actually connecting plenty of different networks, both conceptualizing, telling stories, setting seeds for the future, but also harvesting what was maybe put into the soil 5 years ago, or and so on. And then we have this network crossing. So comments often come from those who share it in their own networks, because they have an audience already. They have a conceptualized maybe. For instance, Elinor Talander, as you mentioned, I guess she got a lot of comments on her session, yeah. And you also, Monica, who have been into the world of health and healthcare for many years. You have an audience, you have organizations and people who are interacting already, but now they get new perspectives maybe, and hopefully also get inspired of other concepts.
Yeah, so Jonas, who's not here, but he had a coat on because he's a doctor's soil. And he told us, he actually received a comment from an old friend who said, "Oh, congratulations to your podcast that was born today. By the way, you look like the child between Einstein and the doctor in Back to the Future. So
That was a
that
really
good
good comp.
yeah, as a compliment.
Yeah.
Wonderful, and again, I'm very. I really love when people come together. One of the guests from one of the podcasts yesterday, he forgot something here. I think it was his glasses and also a pen and other stuff. So he came back today, and it was wonderful conversations in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
Yeah. So and I believe that there is also a big value for all engaged people here.
But there is a lot of that happens in the kitchen. We
Yeah.
should do some broadcasting.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that. Maybe I mean, when you say that, Anna, I come to think of a couple of years ago, Michael. We did this, and when we had another platform in Almedalsveckan, I think it was the first year with the Ship of a New Story. We also sent out people having dialogues with people. Both who came to the platform, but also interacting with community and so on, the local community. Maybe that's something we can come back to again. Do you remember that, Michael?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, you were.
The best part is, of course, the kitchen, but I don't think we should broadcast it. Instead, we should invite people to actually join in that part of this experience as well, because that's how we bring them into the family. They come to the kitchen. They don't have to be on show. They just have to show up in the kitchen or the garden when the weather is nice.
So connecting networks, connecting people, and so on. A specific person you've met during the weekend, or listened to, or been inspired by. Maybe it's someone you knew from beforehand, or you mentioned Elinor.
I have already.
Yeah, you have your.
My candidate is this woman.
Can you show the book again?
The book is here.
Thanks.
But tell us, how does that connect to the weekend? I didn't get that. Did someone mention that or present it? Or?
It was my concept.
Yeah,
I invited Elinor Pelander. She's in my network and been writing this book. It was released in December, and I thought it should be interesting to hear her talk about it. And I invited her, and she liked to be here. So she was very happy
so she
to be
was
here. And
doing a session?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was on Friday on 19
Yeah.
in Central European time, I think, 7 o'clock.
And this is also, this is happening when we connect those networks and we get these kind of meetings that are not unexpected, but maybe they're not facilitated, but they're happening as we share some kind of a joint event. Anyone else want to share some person that have opened up maybe, or just interesting, or want to know more of, and so on?
I have to say Marcel Urrutia. I met him 3 weeks ago and at a conference, and we clicked, and we invited Daniel Morsén, who's an architect, and I thought that they two could have a good conversation. It was lively, and now they're become friends, and they're sharing videos on our little chat. I think he's talking about things that I don't really can get hold on. I can't really understand it. It's AI, and I really don't understand how I can be in Umeå without being in Umeå, and that I can send my twin copy to. I know I'm a Trekkie. I like Star Trek, so I have to think about that. But I think it's wonderful because he's not a cold person, and AI it's like a quadrant, that it's square, and I think he's a round person and a warm person. So that's why I love to hear more about how he thinks about that.
Anyone else want to share something here? I met some persons that I haven't met before, and maybe I should pick someone of them. I really enjoyed the three sisters that came here. two of them physically and one digitally. They were so genuine in what they did, and I was producing. I was sitting behind the equipment and changing pictures and so on. So I was very close to the conversation, and I mean, there have been a lot of conversations, so I haven't been able to listen in to all of them. But it had happened to me during those broadcasts a couple of times when I sit there and produce, and I realize that I'm touched by the message or the situation and so on. And I was actually touched more by the situation than the message here, because the message was great in many ways, but definitely the context here. They were so proud of what they have accomplished. They have been writing a book together for siblings. Mm-hmm. Three of them were in this conversation, and so it was very beautiful. It was life affirming. It was so many things happening. So yeah, I would say the sisters Offerson, wonderful.
Oh, they will be so proud when you're saying that. Oh, they will love that, really. I hope they're listening now, or I will say that they should listen to you.
So, summing up a little bit about this year's broadcast, the takeaway. What will you, if you can get to choose, not only the biggest insights, the biggest value, the person who have touched you, if there is something you would like to take with you from the broadcast, it's not that it's you take it from the broadcast itself, but something that you will carry on, maybe up until next year, or maybe a month from now, or maybe just until tomorrow or whenever, but something you want to take with you and carry on. What would that be? Shall we start with you, Veronica, as you have to go here in a couple of minutes?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
Me too.
It's been a lot of takeaways, but the most I think it's how in all these conversations how you talk about things. I'm not used to that way of talking about things and perspectives and choices. I mean, it's just the whole atmosphere. I'm just a little bit blown away. So I think that's what I take with me, that there are people that like you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
But I agree with you, Veronica. It's the people, the warmth, and that there are more people like me, or even better than me, in all those conversations, all those insights, all of these thoughts I have here. I have to carry on and think more of, I think. And this was my very first Better for the World broadcast, and I don't think it will be my last, because this was a really great weekend. So thank you for having me. Now it's you. What's your insight?
I was thinking.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that comes to me is that if a person who is him or herself should not worry about how do I come across or what theory, knowledge should I use. Just be themselves. Like curiosity, for example. Me and Stellan, we had. I was your guest in one of your
Concepts, yeah. That's
the
right.
concepts, the fundamental concepts, and we were talking about curiosity.
Yeah, we
And you asked me, so what is curiosity? And it got me curious also. But
the interesting
curiosity
thing,
I think it's an emotion, but it's very light, and it needs to come organically like that. And I find it wonderful that these emotions, who are very light but very beautiful and human, that they have a framework here. and and the framework is growing and becoming bigger and bigger, and I find that very beautiful. That's my main takeaway. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, wow.
Did you understand?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I have to process. There is a lot of things I need to process, I think.
I hope
think
I
more
was
of-
clear, but
Yeah. We can clear it out in the kitchen later once again. Stellan, now it's your turn, I believe.
Yeah, what will I carry on from here? Just noticing that Veronica had to leave, and so we know that. I would say how interesting it is when you just anticipate that something works. For instance, in Monica, you and Veronica that have never been into this broadcast before, 2 weeks ago there was nothing. And 2 weeks later, we fill this weekend with so many people, so many concepts, so many dialogues, so many ideas, and that what is possible becomes more or less what is your intent. So the possibilities comes down to what do you want to accomplish, instead of what is possible from some kind of a I don't know view. But here is the intent itself that is actually creating what we have just experienced. So that's what I would like to carry on and use in my day-to-day work also, or in my life, that the intent is much more powerful than anything else here. So that's mine. So who's next?
I'm next. Yeah, I will take with me that it's amazing what happens when you bring amazing humans together, and we should do it more. However possible with people, when people have time to do this, but to keep the kettle boiling in this energy we have here, we certainly try, some of us, to do that wherever we go, but we have to step up the pace and invite more people to the kettle.
Yeah, I think Veronica isn't here anymore, but on her concept, I talked about that I think it's great when people get together and they have something together, some kind of glue. I don't know what's the glue is. We have different visions, maybe, and we have different knowledge and so on, but the glue, best for the world, together, and so on. I think that's amazing, to meet people in the kitchen, not being at a party and meet some racist, creepy person you don't want to talk to anymore. You meet genuine, nice people that you can feel you have some glue with. And that's been so all weekend, I think. Nice people with glue.
Thanks. Is there anyone left? No? Okay, I guess everyone got to say something and take something with them and carry it on. Hopefully we see each other here again in the Best for the World broadcast weekend in a year, but also during this year, during different concepts, all presented then on bestforthe.world. Yeah, you started your podcast, and you have tried out to make videos, both in Swedish and in English.
Yes.
The last
And I think there
weeks.
will be more.
Yeah.
I think so.
And Monica, you are already started out on a journey with the podcast that you and Niklas Mandin started out. And you and I, Michael, we have our concepts, Captain Future Show and Radio Intentional Decisions, and on top of that, also concepts as fundamental assumptions, as we did today, and so on. So there is definitely things to build upon. And if you want to join, you're somewhere in the world, you would like to have a context for your thoughts and your work and your ideas, and also maybe your co-creators you want to engage together with, don't hesitate to contact us, and let's see what we can co-create together.
And be a part of this family.
Yeah. Anyone else? Something?
Yeah, for since many people enjoy the Glassbead games, you of course can set up a weekly or bi-weekly session where we do Glassbead games together to keep the kettle boiling and
definitely.
people back in.
Definitely.
Definitely. I think you open up the eyes to a couple of people here at least during this weekend with this fantastic regenerative dialogue form. And for those who can't wait, you are already hosting a game tonight, right?
Yeah, we host it in English in 3 hours on our regular student channel. So contact me or go to our Facebook group, Glassbead Games, and find a link there.
Okay, so the Facebook group, Glassbead Games. It's spelled glass. It's called bead, B-E-A-D, and then games. Okay.
I hear you.
Yeah, but it's quite tough to write down if you haven't heard the name before. So and there you can meet Michael and some other changemakers around the world for another round of Glassbead Games later on tonight. Super. Thank you very much, everyone. Both you have followed us during this weekend, and definitely all of the co-creators that have been creating and making and relating and everything that has been going on during this weekend. So thank you very much. Anyone else want to say something before we say goodbye to the audience? Yeah. Then, well, how do you end such a wonderful weekend with? Why not with the jingle itself? So take care, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
We are creating the world we're now living in. We are competing in. We are repeating in. We are believing in. It's time for us to shift our mind from best in the world to best for the world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. It creates a new world to mind a shift, intentionality, perceptuality, conceptuality. We are choosing to shift our mind to best for the world, best for our world. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional. Make decisions intentional, to take decisions intentional, making decisions intentional.